Hi everyone, Merry Christmas. My name is Paula from Sam Desire, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an alpha candy cane bracelet. So get started, we have our leading string on the right and 11 bass strings on the left. So I'm just going to put them together so that I can have one side to be for my ties. And I'll just tape it down now. So now in all, we have 12 strings taped down, one leading string and 11 bass strings. I also want to say that I'm going to be using the flat offer technique and straight edge technique throughout. Okay, so now that we're going to get started, according to the pattern, I have to make 2 rows of just plain green. So I'm going to start from the left side so I can make one extra row just for, you can say just for me to make sure everything is stable. So taking the first string, that's the one out of 11, I'm going to use the leading string, that's the longer one, and make a backward knot on top of it. You could choose to make a forward backward knot. That's the beginning of the straight edge technique. I decided to just make a backward knot so everything flows smoothly here. And then going to proceed to make backward knots. Make 9 more backward knots. So one backward knot on each string minus the last string on the left. I forgot to mention this earlier, but this pattern I do not go into the basic formation of knots. That's on somehow. I do not explain how to make backward and forward knots because I'm assuming you know if you're going to make an alpha bracelet. So a backward knot is you making a capital D, and a forward knot is you making the number 4. So I don't go into the basic structure of any of that. I just show you what I'm doing. Then also, this is a beginner pattern, but it's not for people that haven't made alpha patterns before because while you're barely switching for the candy cane, that's the red and white that will soon come into the screen. But because we're switching so often over like every 1 or 2 knots, it is hard. So if you're a beginner, I recommend you do another bracelet before you start with this one. Thank you. And now on the last string, we're going to make a backward forward knot. That is what was supposed for the straight edge technique, the backward and then the forward knot. Because we're going to start on the next row, which originally should be our first round, which should have been our first round. So now we're just going to make another backward forward knot on that first string again, string on the left. Then we're going to make 9 forward knots. Now remember, forward knots are you making letter 4. And now on the last string on the right this time, I'm going to making a forward backward knot. So first half of the forward knot, and then the last half will be a backward knot. There. So that we're going to be doing on the edges on both sides. So we're going to do that, make that knot again, another forward backward knot. Then after that, we're going to make 9 backward knots. So we get to the other side, what we'll make on the left edge, we're going to making a backward forward knots. So a backward forward knot. Now we're going to start with the actual pattern. So for the next row, we're going to make another backward forward knot. Then we're going to make 5 forward knots. So I'm just opening my string according to the picture on the screen so that I don't have to count them again. So the first one, like I said, will be a backward forward knot, then 5 backward knots, all using the green string. So now we're going to introduce our next string, which is going to be white. And this can be a little tricky because we're going to do white and then we're going to do red. So the way you introduce a new string is to just like tape the next string, like that's white color, down. You can choose to hold it to the back like I do if I'm using a clipboard. You can tape it down. Then make the first half of the knot, which in my case is a forward knot. Make the first 4. Pass the old string on top and through that. Then take it to the back of the other strings, or you can just leave it on one side, but just pass it through like that. Then we use the white string and make the second half of the forward knot there. And then we successfully change string. Now, because the next knot we also have to make is red, we have to do that a second time. So now we're going to take that red string too and tip it to the back with the previous one. And there. So now that we've done that, we're going to make the same thing again. Since we have to make one knot with red, let's go ahead and make the first half of the forward knot. Now pass the white string on top of the and towards one side like that. Then make the second half of the forward knot. We successfully changed string again. And now we have to make 3 knots with the green string. So we're going to have to switch back to our green string. So let's find the green string first. Pull it back where it's supposed to be. Now you can move the white string towards the left side. Now we're going to use our green string. We're going to make 2 forward knots and 1 forward backward knot. So the first half of the forward knot, pass the red string through that. And now I can pass this towards and any other side I want. And then complete the forward knot and then continue with the remaining 2 knots of the green. So what we just finished doing right now is what is called the flat alpha technique, where you're making sure your strings are sort of entangled in each other in a way. So now we're going to make another forward backward knot and then 1 forward knot. Sorry, 1 backward knot using the green string. Just like that, because I have to make Two knots with green, one with white, and the remaining with green. So I've already laid out all my strings. Now let's get started. First one, remember, is the forward backward knot, then a backward knot. And now we're going to switch to our white string. So let's find our white string and bring it. So let's put it there, there. Now we're going to make a backward knot, the first half of the backward knot. And because I'm going to be using the string, I just need to pass it through. I don't need to put it under anything. Just pass it through to the other side and then complete the second half of the backward knot. And there. Since I'm switching to the green string, there's no need for me to put the green string behind any other base strings. So now I'm going to just switch back to our green string and make the remaining knots for the bow with green. In case you're wondering, you're supposed to make 8 knots with green, so that's going to be 7 backward knots and 1 backward forward knot on the left edge. So now we're beginning the next row. We're going to make something very similar. So start with a backward forward knot and make 7 forward knots for our new row. Then we're going to make 1 knot with red and then the last 2 will be with green. Now as you're going, you can use a ruler or scissors. I use the scissors to check if the strings the knots you've already made so far, if they're actually straight or not. It's not compulsory, it's just a thing you can do if you want to make sure your knots are straight. So the design comes out just like how you would want it to be. And now we're going to switch to our red string. We're just going to take a red string and bring it down there. Now we're going to make the first half of the forward knot with the red string. Just like that. Then pull up. Pass the string through onto the other side since it's just one string, no need to put it down. Complete the second half of the backward knot and just continue going about what we're doing. Now, for the next one, do the same thing. Start the first half of the forward knot, just like that. Pass the red string through and under. Make the second half of the forward knot. There. And now make 1 forward backward knot. Now for this is going to be the last round we make for our candy cane. We're going to make something, it's a little complicated, but it's also very easy. So get started by making 3 knots with the green. That's a forward backward knot, then 2 backward knots. Then 2 backward knots. Then we're going to switch to our red string. So we're going to switch things here 7 times, or 8 if you're counting what we're doing now. So first we're going to switch to our white string, then red, then white, then red. We're going to switch to each of them 3 times. Okay. So let's get started. Let's pick the first bass string and bring our white string there. So we're going to switch like a basic backward knot. So make the first half of the knot. Sorry. Make the first half of the knot, put the green string there, make the second half of the knot. Now, we're going to bring our red string there. You hold both the bass string and the former leading string, the green one, up. Bring the red bass string and the red leading string in there. Now you can pull the green string towards the right part so it's out of the way since we don't need it for the next 5 switches. Now to switch back to red, you already know what to do. First half of the backward knots, pass the white string through. No need to put it pass the white string through. No need to put it under anything. There. Now make the second half of the knot. Now I'm going to switch back to white, doing the same thing again. Make the first half of the backward knot for white. Put the red string to the other side. Make the second half and pull. Now switching to red again. So take the red string, make the first half of the backward knot. Then pull the white string through, make the second half of the backward knot. Now we just have 2 more color switches. Switch to the white string again. Now switch to the red string. Pass the white through and under. Now switch complete the second half of the backward knot. Now we're going to bring our green string here finally. Remember to lift up the white strings with the bass strings when you're bringing in your green string. There, just like that. Now move the white string towards the right side and out of the way. Using the green string, we're going to make another backward knot. So we're going to switch. First half of the backward knot, make sure it's not too tight at the back. That's the important part. Put the red string through, under, and towards the left. Now complete your backward knots. Sorry. Just like that. And make a backward forward knot and you're done. So now you're just going to make 3 empty rows, 4 empty rows with, well, the first row that you're going to make that's going to be empty will be forward knots. The next one backward knot, the next one will be forward knots. Just like that. And I'll meet you back when it's time to start the next candy cane. And just in case I wasn't clear enough, when you're making plain knots, it's just going to be you using the green string throughout to just make either a set of backward knots or a set of forward knots. So I just showed you how to make a Christmas candy cane alpha bracelet. You're supposed to just repeat that until you get to the size that is required for your what's it called? Your wrist. Because I did not make a start in this bracelet and I did not show you how to end it, I'll leave a link down or a link up above to the next video you can use for your ends. Or you can just do what I do and just make twisted ties on them like that and wear them. Which is probably what you see in the picture. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do this a second time. So remember, like we started, for the first row we're going to actually make, we need to make 6 knots with the green string. So the first one is going to be, we all know, a backward forward knot. Then we're going to make 5 forward knots with our green string. And now we're going to switch to our wedge string. And then we'll make the first half of the forward knot using the wedge string. Pass the green string through that and down. Then make the second half with the white string. Now we're going to bring our red string in there. Make the switch to red, just like that. Pass the white string through and under. Complete the second half of the forward knot. Bring the green string there. Lift everything up, including the white string. Bring the green string there. Now we're going to make the last three knots with our green string. That's going to be two forward knots and one forward backward knot. But remember to switch for the first knot. And now for the next row, we're going to make one forward backward knot and then one backward knot with our green string. Then we're going to have one backward knot with white, and then the remaining will be with green. So starting, make one backward forward backward knot, and then one backward knot. Now we're going to switch to our white string. Make the first half, pass the green string through. No need to put it under, just through. Then complete the second half with the white string. Then switch back to the green string and make the remaining 8 knots with the green string. So 7 backward knots and 1 backward forward knot on the left edge. And now we're going to do something very similar for the next round, but instead of backward knots, it will be forward knots, and instead of white, it will be red. So we're going to make the first backward forward knot on the edge, and then 7 forward knots. Now we're going to switch to our red string to make one forward knot using the red string. And now we're going to switch back to our green string and make one forward knot with the green string and one forward backward knot. And there. Now for the next row, we're going to be doing a lot of color switches like you can remember. for the last row. So getting started, start with a forward backward knot, then two backward knots without green string, then one more. Now we're going to start switching to within our red and white strings. So the first switch will be made with our white string. Remember, it's going to be red, then white, red, then white, then red. Sorry, something was stuck in my throat, then red. So getting started, take the first white string and switch. Now we're just going to put the green string through, and now we're just going to complete the second half of the backward knot. Now move the green string out of the way towards the right, and we're going to switch to our red string. Now switch come to red. Make sure you don't put the white under. Now we're going to switch back to white. Now we're going to switch to red. And for the last two switches, we're going to switch back to white again. Then we're going to switch back to red. Pass it under like that. Now we're going to bring in a new green string because mine is way too short to go there. Oh, is it? So we're going to use the green string that we have there. And then we're going to switch back to down and complete the last two knots with it. That's going to be one backward knot and one backward forward knot. And just in case I haven't said it before, Merry Christmas, guys. Hope you have a nice time. And I will leave a link to the next video for you to watch. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section or on my Instagram. Merry Christmas. Hope you have a nice time.